Hey guys, TJ here from Hyper Coliseum, and welcome back to another Members First deck profile. This week, you guys picked Royal Base, or I guess suggested Royal Base, and I ended up picking this as the deck to do because I know it a wee bit, a good bit, a little bit. Thank you all for being members. Thank you guys for your suggestions. They're very much appreciated. We value you and your opinions on what you want us to do and what you want to see, and so we're trying to do our best to make sure we provide that for you. If you guys have any friends out there that you're in your local communities or anything like that, make sure to let them know to check out the channel, subscribe, drop a like if they enjoy these videos. And to anyone seeing this video, after it's out of the Members First section, think about maybe becoming a member. You get early access to these videos, and you get to suggest what we do on the channel next for our deck profiles. In addition to that, maybe or I guess not in addition to, but if you haven't already and you're seeing this, maybe consider subscribing. And if you enjoy this deck profile, give it a like. We appreciate it. Or if you like other stuff on our channel, give that a like, and maybe sub if you aren't already. So appreciate you guys. Thank you. And let's go ahead and we'll jump into the deck profile here. So starting off with our eggs, we run 4 copies of Paroromon from good old BT18. This is sort of our key egg for the deck. We really can't run any other eggs if we're playing this deck. We kind of have to run this egg. So it has start of your main phase by placing 1 Digimon card with the Royal Base trait from your hand face up as your bottom security card, add your top security card to the hand. So this whole deck has the brand new gimmick of working with face up security, which is really, really cool. It's something that I've always wanted to see in the card game, and that now we're finally getting it, starting with this deck specifically. And as we've seen with reveals, in case you haven't been paying attention to the leaks, we know that the other field group decks like Nature Spirits, Nightmare Soldiers, Deep Savers, stuff like that, they're all getting option cards that almost act like field spells in a way, like if you want to compare it to Yu-Gi-Oh, that just sort of sit there in the security and give a passive effect so long as it's face up in security. But yeah, so you kind of need him. He just helps you set up your security and get cards out of it into your hands, so you kind of get security knowledge as well in that way. Moving on from the eggs, we'll run into our Fun Beamon section here. I love Fun Beamon. He's such a cute Digimon. First one we're going to go over is the BT18 Fun Beamon, who can evo for free over Royal Base trait card. So that's the Paroromon for us. We'll see if we get other ones. I wouldn't be surprised if we do eventually down the line, but it might be a while. I don't know when they're going to give winner support more. But anyways, just standard sort of on play by placing 1 Digimon card. Well, not standard, but on play by placing 1 Digimon card with the Royal Base trait from your hand to face up as your bottom security card. Add your top security card to the hand. Just helps us cycle our security more, helps us get that security set up with all the face up effects that we want to have in there. And has the security effect of all turns. All of your Royal Base trait Digimon get plus 1000 DP, and does a similar inheritable as well, except it's not security, it's just inheritable. So good card, solid setup for things, a good sort of hard drop turn 1 to kind of start getting your security up. We want to try and get our security face up as much as possible as early as we can. It's not the greatest thing necessarily, because we do kind of let our opponent know what is in our security. However, we get so many kind of buffs from it that we can make these really big beefy bodies on board that all have blocker. It's very, very helpful to have. Moving on from that, we have our BT19 Fun Beamon, who has the same security effect, and then also has your turn when this Digimon would digivolve into a Digimon card with the Royal Base trait, reduce the digivolution cost by 1. We like to see that, just helps us climb our line faster, and it's just good. It's good. And then same inheritable as well with the all turns plus 1 KDP. Aside from that, we have Uko package, standard BT16 Uko and 1 promo Uko, so 3 and 1. You can play around with these ratios as much as you want, really. You don't even really have to run promo Uko. I don't really know if he is that much gas for the deck. I've been playing with him a little bit and it's felt fine, but I admittedly have had thoughts of being like, maybe I just don't even run him. Maybe I just run more BT16 Uko. Just we want to see our pieces as fast as we can. We don't really have a good searcher for the deck, really. We don't have a good on play, reveal top 3, grab 2 type of deal that most other Liberator decks have at the moment. So very good card just to help us cycle continuously. And we also can get more of our Paroromon out there for more start of main phase effects to help get our security set up faster as well. That's it for rookies. Moving on to level 4s. We're running only 8 level 4s because there's not really another one you can run too much. You could run some Togemon and stuff like that if you want to drop Tamers for a bit cheaper, but I'm sort of relying on just wanting to just see Royal Base trait cards, so we constantly have those effects, and we're never really whiffing on the ability to place cards in our security. So first one we have is Waspmon here. Same security effect as the Fun Beamon. And then also has the kind of cool effect of opponent's turn. None of your opponent's Digimon with as much or less DP as this Digimon can attack players. So it's very, very good for sort of stopping low-end rush decks. It's solid, honestly. And he's a 4-drop too, which is really, really good. And we have means of spitting him out for free thanks to our level 6's effects later, so we'll get to that. But it's a very, very good card. Solid. Same inheritable for all turns, +1 KDP. Then we, rounding out our level 4s here, have 4 copies of Forge Beamon from BT19. Same security effect where all turns +1 KDP to Royal Base Trait Digimon. And then also has the all turns effect of when any of your other Digimon with the Royal Base Trait would leave the battle area by effect. By placing this Digimon face up as your bottom security card, they don't leave. Awesome. Good. Just huge Omni protection that helps us recover security in a way. And then also has an inheritable of all turns +1 KDP. Just solid card, good card, another good card for the spit out, and also a 4-drop, mind you, too, which is really, really nice. Aside from that, moving on to our level 5s, we run 4 copies of the BT18 Cannon Beamon. Security effect of, so this is where we get different. So the 4s and the 3s all give us +1 KDP all turns while they're in security. The 5s, however, give us blocker. So Cannon B gives blocker while it's face up in security, and then on play when digivolving for each of your face up security cards, de-digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon, which is pretty good. That's not bad. Being able to de-digivolve like easily like 3 at any given time, because you push up start of main, you'll probably tuck something in there. You can then go ahead and use winner as well to tuck stuff. Like it's crazy. You very, very well can set up to a point to get this card to a good position to go ahead and kind of cycle and de-digivolve more than once on the Evo. And then inheritable of when this Digimon deletes your opponent's Digimon in battle, trashed their top card of security. Very good. We love that effect. Moving on from that, we run 4 copies of BT19 Vespamon. Opponents, same sort of security effect like I had listed before, with giving everything with Royal Base blocker. And then on play when digivolving, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with a play cost of 2 or less. For each of your face-up security cards, add 2 to this effect's play cost maximum, which is really nice. That means on average, when we evo into this guy, we're probably deleting anywhere from usually around a 6 cost is usually where we're sitting at, depending on how fast the game is going or how long you are taking to set up. But it's still solid. It's still good. He evos for 3 over a Royal Base Trait card, by the way. All the 4s and the 5s, by the way, they do evo for the regular cost of a champion or an ultimate over their respective proper archetype cards. But, you know, still solid, good manner of board control. At the very least, can also just pretty much guarantee to help us like pop like low cost like floodgates and stuff like that, which might be a little bit annoying. Specifically things like Pillowmon or the like Gatsumon, stuff like that. The ones that help us or stop us from playing things by effect. That's it for the 5s there. Same inheritable as well, by the way. But moving on to the 6s. So we're running a 2-4 split here. Our first one is going to be Tiger Vespamon from BT18. I love this card. I'm so happy that we finally have a Tiger Vespamon. It's just a little bit unfortunate that the deck it's in is like, Royal Base is fun, but it's by no means like a tier 1 deck or anything like that. Not even 1.5. The deck just takes some setup. It can be a bit slow, and it doesn't have any, it plays the game very fair, is the best way I can put it. But moving on from that, it has piercing and reboot just inherently, which is really, really nice. Has on play when digivolving for each of your face-up security cards, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. Then none of the Digimon can unsuspend until the end of their turn. So he kind of works a little bit like BT16 Paledramon, where he just can lock down a board and say, hey, no, nothing's unsuspending for the rest of until the end of your turn, which is good. It gives you survivability, right? And then all turns once per turn when one of your when other Digimon are deleted in battle, this Digimon may unsuspend. So you can potentially be multiple chips. You can go ahead and swing and actually pierce through bodies on board, trash the security, and still do the check while having a decent DP boost from things in security or in your inheritables. He's a good card. We like him. He does multiple checks. He's very good aggression for the deck. And there's other weird stuff you can do with him later with some tech choices. I'll go over those once we get to the end of the video, or towards the end of the video. Moving on from that, we run 4 copies of Queen Beamon. She is our main level 6 for the deck. She inherently just has Alliance, which is awesome. We love that. And then has 1 attacking once per turn. You may play 1 Royal Base Trait card, Digimon card rather, from your face of security with the cost reduced by 8. So we can play any of our 5s or lowers without playing without paying the cost. And then all turns when any of your Royal Base Trait Digimon would leave the battle area other than in battle, you may place those Digimon face up as the bottom security cards. So she gives us a good way of constantly cycling things back into security when they be deleted at a lower end, which is very helpful, very nice. And, you know, she basically sets up her own ability. She sets up her alliance on her own, which is also really nice. We like to just be able to self-set up alliance and be able to swing for the good damage and just have really high DP between our security boosts, our inheritable boosts, and the actual alliance boost itself. On top of that, too, if you're swinging into a Digimon, while you won't have the piercing, unfortunately, you'll at least be able to still trash security, so you can control board and still chip damage. She's sort of like our better way of kind of climbing that DP threshold that we need to nowadays with how things just easily hit like 20k so often in this format. But yeah, so otherwise that's her. Great card. And that's going to round out our Digimon lineup here. Moving on to Tamers, we run 4 copies of Winner, or however you want to refer to him. Winrar is how I've seen some people refer to him, or Wiener. That's another one too. Start of your main phase. If you have face-up security cards, gain 1 memory. Awesome, good effect. We love it. Since all of our face-up security is usually stacking from the bottom, it means that we're almost always going to have it unless our opponent blew us out of the water like turn 2, like Red Hybrid can do sometimes. But otherwise, you should have face-up security cards to help you get his memory gain. And Peroromon sets this up too, right? Peroromon's going to give us a face-up security card when you push up, or just at the start of main phase. And you can go ahead and use Peroro's effect to start of main. Get that the card there to see to basically show Winner, hey, there's a face-up security card for me to gain memory. And then also has the cool effect, which is really good by the way, of main. By suspending this Tamer, one of your Digimon may Digivolve into a Digimon card in your face-up security cards. If this effect Digivolves, you may place 1 Digimon card with the royal base trait from your hand face up as your bottom security card. So this helps us cycle our security even more by replacing cards in there, and also lets us, you know, we're not basically locking ourselves out of that resource when we put it into security. We still have a means of taking it and using it for evolution. Now, mind you, we can't use this in conjunction with things like training or anything like that, so we will have to pay the full Evo cost, unfortunately. But at least, you know, we're not losing access to our cards as we're setting up our security, which is just nice. It's just nice to have it, and he's a 3-drop Tamer, so, you know, it's not too hard to slam down. Moving on from him, we have 3 copies of Shu Yulin. So this is the one that's a little bit weird. I know a lot of people are running like different, all sorts of different Tamers right now because the deck is still very much not solved. People are testing things as much as they can. You know, there's of course other great cards like BT15 Izzy, or cards like BT1 Mimi, stuff like that. The Memory Setter Mimi that lets you, you know, suspend her to hatch an egg or suspend to move a Digimon up if you have a level 5 or higher. Shu Yulin I'm running because she is a memory fixer, which is really good. She's also a black source, so that helps us use our Hornet Eraser option more consistently. If we don't have a Digimon on board, and then we have Winner and Shu, we can go ahead and play that. But also because for her Mind Link, all they need to have is X Antibody in their traits, or Digipolice. But X Antibody is the one that we're looking for because the entire deck, aside from the Ukomon, are X Antibody cards. The entire deck is X Antibody, which is really, really nice. They're also like all count as Insectoid for the ones that aren't actually Insectoid, and they also are like cyborgs or machines. Or no, just cyborgs, not machines. Sorry. So like this deck has so many different traits in it. It's crazy. It's nutty. But it does give us access to Shu Yulin being a very, very nice card to use for these effects, and it can give us Alliance and Reboot. And you can stack this Alliance with Queen Bee's Alliance. You can utilize the Reboot on Queen Bee as well. Obviously, Tiger Vespa already has Reboot, so he doesn't need that as much. But being able to give Tiger Vespa Alliance on top of his Unsuspend, with him being able to Pierce too, he becomes a really, really scary threat with a Shu Yulin under him. So pretty good, pretty nice. We like to have it, and it also doesn't hurt to be able to get that extra sort of Digivolution source under there in case we go up against things like Hexablow and whatnot that want to check for sources rather than DP, because it means that we can make our stacks guaranteed to be bigger usually than Hexablow, unless you're playing against like Galaxy Mirage. Then you're gonna probably be having a bit of a hard time because they're gonna just build an infinitely larger stack than you, and it's just not possible to keep up. But that's how it goes. That's it for Tamers though. Running past that, we run 4 copies of Agility Training. We just, you know, we want to be able to have our pieces in our hand for a cheaper cost. Grabs our Tamer as well as our option for the royal base trait stuff. And, you know, in case you don't want to evo out of security, if you want to try and climb the line a bit faster without needing to utilize your security sources, obviously training is the way to do that. Moving on from that, we run 2 copies of the brand new option Hornet Eraser, which is main. You may place 1 Digimon card with the royal base trait from your trash face up as the bottom security card. Then delete up to 8 play cost total worth of your opponent's Digimon. For each of your face-up security cards, add 2 to this play cost maximum. So this card's just a very, very good means of board control and deletion, because you can very easily kind of climb that play cost total. Even with just 2 cards, you're popping a 12 play cost, which is most level 6s in the game, which is really nice. It only climbs higher. It only climbs higher. It's also very good for dealing with ace cards too, right? Because it deletes at a base of 8, and there's the highest an ace cards like on play, like play cost has, is Imperial Dramon Paladimodes with 9. There might be other 9s as well that I can't think of off the top of my head, but you get the idea. Basically, you're going to be able to pop up to a level 7 ace cards with this very easily, which ace cards are everywhere right now. They're very common, they're very sporadic, and people are doing more like weird ace card techs than ever. So something to be mindful of, and just a good option that fits in our archetype and works with what we want to do. And then aside from that, we run 3 copies of, lo and behold, X Antibody Protoform. Now keep in mind, you can probably run regular BT9 X Antibody if you really want to. I think it might even help you with a bit of aggression in certain ways, like with Tiger Vespa, for example. I know Protoform is now, like, I think as of right now, it's like a $50 card, even just for the base rarity of it, because every top contender, or so many top contender decks, want to run this card. And the farther we get from EX5, you know, being a relevant set, the more expensive they get. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Protoform get hit, but until then, it's a very good option. We run it at 3 in this deck. Honestly, you could probably run it at 4 if you wanted to cut like Shuyulin down to 2 or something. I just was of the mind of like, hey, I want to make sure I have a memory setter, because I don't cheat memory like some other decks do in this format. I need to have that setter out there probably. Along with all my winners to give me extra memory on top of that, so I can really climb my line and have explosive turns, you know, at some point during the game. But you know, it's a good option. There's a reason why it's so expensive. There's a reason why it's around everywhere. But keep in mind, I don't think you have to run it. It's just going to make your life a lot easier if you do. That's it for all the cards in the deck, though. That's everything. As for some tech choices, things you can run, this deck, like I just said a few moments ago, is so far from being solved. There's so many things you can do with this deck. It's so freaking cool, man. Like you can run the BT7 Dorugray that just looks for X Antibody and trades and give your stuff protection with that. You can run so many different rookies alongside the Fun Beamon. You can run the Tentomon, the Palmon. I was thinking about running Ryudomons as well to just get Shuyulins out there a bit more effectively. However, you don't really have great search power at the low end, so I think that Ukos are probably your best bet for keeping your deck at a good pace without and being able to keep up consistency as well. And then as for Tamers, like I said, there's the Mimis and Izzies that you can, or not the combined card, but the separate cards of Mimi and then the Izzy memory setter from BT15 and the Mimi setter from BT1, BT2, whatever. Those are all good cards you can run as well that will work just fine in the deck. It's really up to you how you want to build it. There's so many different things you can choose to do and things you can tech in. I even saw some builds that were like running primarily more Tiger Vespamon and just focusing on just trying to like DP build him as much as they can and just go crazy with it, which is cool. It's neat. It's fun. And I mean, especially if you run that Dorogray tech, the one of, and you get it under Tiger Vespa, you're swinging, or like, not Tiger Vespa, but Queen Bee. If you get that under Queen Bee with Alliance, that, and then you have Alliance from Shuyulin, you can swing for like 4 checks or something. Tiger Vespa can obviously unsuspend and do like 3 checks and then some more, so it can get pretty crazy. But that's the general idea. That's kind of what we're looking at here for tech choices. There's lots of different things you can run. You can also run more generic, like removal options too. If Horned Eraser is not your cup of tea, things like Heaven's Judgment is very accessible in this deck because you have green Tamers, you have green Digimon, and all your Digimon are multicolored. You also have white Digimon that can be out there on the board as well, so you can very easily nuke up to 18 to 24k. Not too hard to do, to be honest. But yeah, that's it for tech choices. Bad matchups, good matchups. You're very slow. I wouldn't say you necessarily have any like quote unquote like good matchups. You have decent amounts of control. You have decent amounts of sort of stalling the game out. I myself am still playtesting it. I have yet to run into a deck where I was like, oh yeah, no, I just steamroll this. It's very fair. It's a very fair deck, but it's fun. It's cool, and it's playing around with neat ideas that I'm really excited to see Bandai finally messing around with. As for bad matchups, I mean, pretty much all of your top tier 1 meta contenders are all very scary. Sorcerer from Imperial goes crazy. Lord Knight on oftentimes will just climb higher than you because of Alliance. Purple Hybrid I mean, even Velgramon hits like 13 to 15k very easily, which you can block with your bigger bodies at least, so you can stop the end of attack from happening. But it also has so many different like tools and resources that they can use that I wouldn't be surprised if there's like ways for them to very easily get around it. I haven't played that matchup too much myself yet, but I also know just Purple Hybrid's also pretty quick. It's pretty consistent and pretty quick, and all their floodgates they play out can really, really hurt. But yeah, that's about it there for those different cards. That's it for the deck profile. Let me know what you guys think. If you have any ideas on of your own for this deck, go ahead and put them in the comment section down below. I'd love to see what everybody's cooking, what everybody's thinking of. I myself am going to be running this deck and testing it a bunch just because I want to play other stuff. You know, I'm competitive season's pretty much over at this point. There's no more like real big regionals except for like I think another like in-person one or something like that. And I'm pretty sure it's been confirmed that we don't have last chance qualifiers for Digimon this year. Just going off of like the Bandai Card Fest like notifications that they have on there. I know One Piece has it, but we don't, and like nobody else does. You know, other Bandai card games. So with competitive season being over, it is now time to just cook with random silly stuff, and that is what I'm going to do. So expect to see a lot of weird out-of-pocket things from me out of newer sets to just try and test out new archetypes and new decks that maybe aren't getting as much love as they should or could. But yeah, so we're going to go ahead and sign off here. Hope you guys have a wonderful week, have a wonderful day wherever you are at in the world, and we'll catch you in the next one. Or as Bambo would say, we'll catch you on that flippy flip. Bye-bye.